Alright, here we go. Correcting the homework from yesterday. So here's the vocabulary section. Tangent is going to be a line that only hits 1 point. There's 5 right there, so this one's going to be A. And then second one's a chord. That's going to be a segment that hits twice. So segment whose end points, plural, are points on a circle. That means that that's 2. So that's chord B. We have secant. Secant is going to be kind of like the chord, except it's a line instead of a segment. So we're looking for a line, intersects at 2 points. There you go. C. Radius goes from the center out. So segment whose endpoints are at the center of a circle and a point on the circle. So from the center out. There's D right there. And then fifth one, diameter, is the chord that goes right through the center, the part you care about, through the center. So E. Next piece. If you're looking through here, CD is a line that's hitting twice. That's a secant. So 6 is going to be D. Number 7, G, that's just a single point. That's the point of tangency, because it's where the tangent line hits that circle. That's F. A, another point. That's a point at the center, called the center. Number 9, CD is a segment. This segment hits twice, and it stops. It doesn't keep going, so that's going to be your chord. There's A. EB, going right through the center, that's going to be your diameter. E. And then AE, from the center out, that's your radius. It says use a circle to name the coordinates. This part's not going to be tested, but so you know the points. Right here is actually the point of origin. So right here is 0, 0. Just so you have somewhere as a point of reference. And a point of tangency would be like up here. There's this point. So you go from the 0, 0 from the origin, and you go 1, 2, 3 to the right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So your coordinate there was 3 to the right and 4 up, so it's 3, 4. Endpoints for the radius. So a radius could be from the center to the right or from the center to the left, because it's right here. If I'm going with the center point, it's 1, 2, 3 up 2. It's for the center. And then if I want to use this point out here, I'm going to go from this 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 2. So that's 5, 2. And yes, I almost put it in the wrong spot. Endpoints for the diameter. We can use this one again, so we can use that 5, 2. But the other endpoint's not at the center, it's going to be on the other side. So it's also touching the circle, so it's right here. This point from the origin is 1 to the right and 2 up. So it's 1, 2. The endpoints of a chord that is not the diameter would have to be this chord right here. We already know that this coordinate was 1, 2. And then the other coordinates down here, that's the other endpoint for that chord. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the right, and it didn't go up or down, so it's going to be 3, 0. And your center, right there, 1, 2, 3, up 2, 3, 2. Last piece of side A. Cherry pie has a lattice top crust. Name the term that best describes the given segments or points. So this one doesn't actually have any segments drawn in for you, but it tells you that there is a segment BC. So from B to C, going right through the center. Best name for that, diameter. Then we have DE. So DE does not go through the center. It is a segment. It hits 2 points. That's going to be a chord. Remember, that's like a guitar chord, like the little string going across the hole for an acoustic. Number 20, AC. Again, we're talking about a segment. So from A to C, from the center out, that's going to be a radius. And then number 21, point A, that's right in the middle, that's called the center. All right, side B. A line in the plane of a circle that intersects the circle in exactly one point. That's going to be a tangent for this answer. And then that point where the tangent hits the circle, that's the point of tangency. And you know my writing is terrible, but that says tangency. Number 2, a segment whose endpoints are at the center of a circle and a point on the circle. From the center out, it's going to be a radius. Next one, a segment whose endpoints are points on the circle, so both points are touching the circle. That's going to be your chord. I'll put that over here. The diameter is a chord that passes through the center. And a blank is a line that intersects a circle in 2 points. So if it hits, and it's a line that hits 2 points, that's your secant. Remember, it's very similar to a chord, except it's a line instead of a segment. Identifying the special parts. So if we're talking about a chord on here, I would choose SK. It's not the only chord, but it's a good one. Make sure you put a segment, no arrows, no points, no dots, just a segment on top of 2 letters. Number 7, the secant. Remember, secants are lines. Lines have to keep going. Hits twice, so that'd be MN right here. When you name a secant, because it's a line, it has to have arrows on both sides to say that it keeps going both directions. The tangent is a line, but it only hits once. There's 3 letters on here. You can pick any 2 of these 3 letters. So I'm going to put RT with arrows because it's a line. If you put RQ, it's okay. TQ, it's okay. QT, it's okay. TR, that's okay. So any 2 of these 3 letters will name this line. But make sure you put the arrows to say it's a line. For the diameter, diameter has to go through the center. So it has to be PL or LP. It is a segment, no arrows, no dots. Then you have the radius from the center out, so you can go CP or CL. Again, it's a segment, no arrows, no dots. Then you have the point of tangency. That's the point where the tangent line hits the circle. So the only time it hits the circle is right there. It's going to be point T. Name the coordinates of the center of each circle. So the center of the small circle would be where the C is at. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right and 2 up. And then the large circle is circle D. That one has a point right there for the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 up. For the coordinates of the intersection of the 2 circles, so the one point where these 2 circles touch is right down here. So that point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it doesn't go up or down, so it'd be 5, 0. Number 14, name the coordinates of the point of tangency of each circle. Lucky for us, the only point where these circles touch any line is right there in that same spot, so it'd be 5, 0 again. Number 15 says, what's the length of the radius of each circle? So for circle C, you can count it out, 1, 2. And for circle D, for the radius from the center out would be 1, 2, 3. So for D, it'd be 3. Number 16, it says, what's the length of the diameter of each circle? So for circle C, it goes all the way across this small circle, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. And for circle D, it's going to be all the way across this large circle, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is double the radius on both of these. So 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 2, 6. Last section of the homework, it says you have a company's logo. It says this is a right triangle, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little right angle here just to remind myself. It's a right triangle. It says name the term that best describes the given segment. So if I'm looking at, or point, so if I'm looking at C, that's right in the middle, that's the center. That's the best name for it. AB, that's a segment that hits twice, that's a chord. CD, from the center out, that's a radius. BD, going right through the center, even though it's a chord, it said give the term that best describes the segment. So the best name for that is going to be a diameter. And because the way it's worded, you cannot tell me that that's a chord, because it says the best way to describe it. Then 21 AD, from one point to another point on the circle, not going through the center, that's another chord. So remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, what ifs, what abouts, or how comes, you can go ahead and leave them in the Remind or on Google Classroom.